Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to get on here, and before any of you get worried at all, my lips are moving, but no sound is coming out. But the sound is delayed. Just cross that you can all hear me. We've tried to fix it. We've been spending 10, 15 minutes trying, but there is I think it's probably a 2 or 3 second delay. So it'll be my lips, no sound, but I promise you, let's see if it works. And cancel this morning and do something another day. So, to the spirit world sees all. It is whatever the date is, July sometime. Anyway, I think we're in the middle of July, right? At this moment, down in the middle of July. Before we begin, excuse me. In fact, as we begin, first of all, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide Gregor, standing to my right side, and I would also like to say good morning to Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Rosemary. We do have people logging on, probably now just finding us since we were a couple of minutes late.
Okay, so I'll just repeat again. There is a time delay between my moving and the sound that you're getting will follow a couple, I believe, after I'm speaking. We've tried to fix it. There's nothing we hopefully it'll fix itself as we go along. But I have been happening in the house. I have my Alexa that most of you on my lights would not work last night. In everything, could not get it to work. So we sort of were a little bit in darkness in the house. This morning it also would not work. So, to my app, and I could not understand any of what it asked me to do, as it normally does. So I pressed two buttons and switched the whole to another 2 buttons a bit later and pressed the whole thing back on. My password, so I had to get a new password. On and on, it's gone, right? Since last night, the electricity is sort of playing up a little bit. Maybe it's the internet service, what it is. Then, when I stopped fiddling app and thought, that's it, I can't do any more with it. But one last time, so I asked, I won't say it because it'll click in. I asked for, and hey presto, as if by magic, everything turned on. And then everything, tried them individually, and they all turned on, and then they turned off. So that solved. And we're thinking, okay, this is great. We're having a great morning until little issue has cropped up that we can't fix. But we hope you have to watch me, my lips moving, and then 2 seconds later, your fingers crossed. So let's see. So that's been my morning. Chris, am I back to normal, or is there still?
No, Rosemary, you are still on a delay, and there are some people in our chat room who are expressing that your voice is coming in and out.
Okay, well, I don't know what to do. I think maybe then, as on, and as people are struggling with this, I think that we should disappoint you guys, but I think we should just stop and do this.
If you said something, Rosemary, whatever you said at the end was cut off. I did not hear you.
Okay, I'm thinking we should, because it's obviously not working. The internet is some issues here. I think we should say thank you for joining, and we'll let you know when we try to do this again. Did you hear me?
Okay, I heard you.
What do you think?
Well, we do have a couple of questions already in the chat room, Rosemary. So if you can hear me, I think we can at least try one question, right?
Yeah,
Okay, well, Cheryl's asking, what kinds of learning are there in the spirit world and what subjects?
Cheryl, if I say a trillion, and then I say to the second part of you, there are so many different learning process we can choose from. Remember that, when we look at the universe, we see this much, right? But when we consider the many universes, and then there are the things that we don't understand, which are this much. So, so learn from, so much for us to explore, so much for us to, I suppose, let's, with our limited vision, how many opportunities are there and how much is to learn about? If we really looked at it, there are endless, but most of us choose to stay in our own small world. This is our world, about this size, and the rest of the world is this size. And traveling, we do not search or seek out other cultures or other of learning, and those who do will often sort of be drawn to two or three particular things that they might learn about or might interest them. That does not negate the rest of the world and the abilities that we all have. Chris.
All right. We're trying to see if I have any questions yet. And I think for the people who are just logging in and, they're a little bit delayed because we were delayed, they're just finding out that they need to send in a question. So if you have anything that you'd want to share, well, that gives them time, Rosemary. I think I think your voice is starting to come across. It's not quite matching up, and our folks from Restream, who we use to help bring this out to all your social media, are working in the background to see if they can help us.
Gosh, what is there to share? There are so many things. I'm going to just put this out into the universe right now. So I think that I'm going to throw this. If you know of someone who is, let's say, college age, wants to do some work to get points to, I don't know, quite British, so I don't know how the American system works, but we're looking for a smart, not necessarily young, actually, when I think about it, to help us with our social media. So we want someone who media, how to work with social media, how to, and so we're actually thinking of going into the schools and the colleges, and some young thing who wants to work with us, but it doesn't have to be a young thing. But you or anyone you know might be interested in, I mean, what a fascinating subject to work with anyway, who has social media, let's say, not necessarily qualifications. We don't care about the qualifications. We just want to know, so that the smarts to do it. How do you do it? Because Chris and I, I'm an oldie. I don't know how to do these things, and Chris has got to do so much on her plate to do, that we're looking for someone to help us with our social. And so, so that's one of the things that we're trying to do and trying to find out. And that's one of the things that we're doing. But we're also, as many of you might know, we have, I think, 4 workshops. We're I'm going to be going to Connecticut. When I say we, I mean Greg to Connecticut on the 27th of August to do a live show there. I shall be talking to them how to connect with their higher self, talking about the higher way. What is it? I'll talk about that. In Connecticut, we're going to be also how we can tune in, or how we can become more aware, more sensitive, and of course, with Greg Eagle's help, we know we're going to be talking with the spirit world, and who knows what these events. You never know what's going to happen, and I never know which way it goes, and so that should be an interesting thing to do. So that is on Saturday hour event, Saturday morning, the 27th of August. I forgot there was a delay in my brain then. 26th, and it's in Connecticut. I can't remember the town in Connecticut, and if you're around there, or if you're anywhere close to it, I believe that where it is takes about an hour's drive from New York City. So if you're in New York City and you're coming to say hello and joining in with us, we're excited to see you there. So we're all sorts of events. We're also working with a wonderful group out of Chicago. Seminars planned, already planned there. I'm not sure if Chris has put them up yet on the website, but please go. You know what we're up to, what we're about to do, and so on. Go to the website and check us out, because there'll be Zoom events, but they're out of Chicago. So we're going to be doing 3 different events. We're going to do bottom brick exercise, and how important it is for us to find out the root. We've all got issues, haven't we? We've all got problems of one kind or another, and I firmly believe we can. And a lot of people do this. A lot of therapists do this. We can touch the surface. We think it's okay, but then the issue comes back. It creeps back in, and the only way to deal with that is by sort of getting to the root cause. When was that dropped into your, or let's say into your psyche? When was the feel less than? And if you go to the website, you'll see that we've got quite a few bottom brickers. It's an exclusive club, which anyone can join the website and check that out. So one of our sessions talking about how we can get to the root cause of the issues that we have, and once we understand where those things come from, we can understand why we are why we're sensitive, why we have less self-confidence that we would like, and we can start to correct those things. So that seminar, we're also going to do a seminar on healing. We all love that subject, don't we? How do you become a healer? We need to look out for what kind of energy are we using when we are. Can we make our energy stronger? Can we make it more powerful? Are we doing it, etc.? And then another seminar is, I think, explore mediumship and talk about mediumship and talk about, the dead. Is it really possible? Can you really do it? And how helpful is it anyway? Saying that, I had a client, let me say, this week, and her daughter, and they came to me and lost her son very recently, just 2 months ago. And they weren't quite sure of the circumstances. I think they weren't quite sure of me, perhaps. But I was concerned because this young man had a little struggle in the beginning trying to connect. He made it. Now, usually when I do a consultation with someone, I do it. I have it all organized. I have a method. I like to start here and then work through. Anyway. But this communication that I made was very different. We did it in a completely opposite way, completely different way, because it was helpful to the young man who was trying to come through. He wanted to want his mother to ask him any questions. He didn't want to know anything at all, and had in detail described his passing. Just didn't want the reason. One of the reasons he didn't want his mother to ask any questions because for her to think that I had an inkling of through the question what was going on. So basically, we did, I guess you could call it a consultation where I knew nothing in this, and I had to rely on this young man to tell me everything. Did fabulously. He struggled initially. There was a lot of on, and he was amazing. He did a fantastic job, and his sister was thrilled with the evidence that he gave and the fact that they were really talking to him. And he was really there and present with them. But the thing that I really excuse me, the thing that I really felt very grateful for was the fact that his lady, obviously in so much grief and so much turmoil, the whole family, she said to me, Rosemary, I have to tell you that this is better than end of grief counseling or grief therapy. This is better than anything I could have. And she felt so much relief. Her boy was able to talk to her. He was well, obviously. And it was just wonderful to, because I do it all the time, don't I? You'd think I'd be used to it, but no, I'm not used to it. I get such pleasure out of connecting with those in the spirit world. I think more so than any prep. But it's amazing when you see how mediumship works. I'm talking about good medium. It's amazing how when you watch it working and how when you watch it, and especially for me, especially with people who I think there's nothing more wonderful and more incredible than being able to help people in that regard. So one of the seminars that we'll be doing for the Chicago group is talking how it works and maybe even a demonstration or two. We don't quite know yet, but you can see that we're getting really busy, which is why we really knows about the media and about the all of that stuff that you have to do. And my daughter tells me you've got to do it at a certain time in a certain way. Okay, then people as you can, but how do we do that? We don't know. We have not a clue. I certainly don't know. I'm old, and so old and not quite decrepit yet, but I have the world of social media is beyond me. I don't really care for it.
So, Rosemary, do you want another question? This question is from Judith. Rosemary, any tips to help remember dreams for my dream journal?
Oh yes, I do question. I'm going to suggest, but you may already be doing this, that you keep a pad and whichever you choose. I like pencils better. By your by the side of you. Sometimes we'll sort of half awake in that dream state. Even if we don't half awake, when we first come awake, we have that very strong, but as we know, and the more awake you become, it's quite frustrating, really. You remember it, you know it, the moment you wake up, and then it's, so if you keep a pen and a pad, or a pencil and a pad next to your bed, of immediately, absolutely immediately, when you wake up, or if you wake, and you still sort of got to go going around, and just, you've got to make it a habit. So reach for the pen and the pad and scribble things down, and all of the details, just scribble down some of the things that you remember. When you read them back, when you wake up in the morning and you read them back, that will jog your memory. That's the best tip I know for you. I hope that's helpful.
All right, Rosemary, I do not have any more questions in our chat room. So it seems as though, maybe these glitches we're experiencing technology wise are affecting more than we know right now.
Okay, so I think then, Chris, I'd like everyone for joining. I'm so sorry we can't do the show today. The internet, excuse me, those internet connections are really out of our hands, aren't they? We don't it. So I'm going to say thank you to all of you for joining us today. I'm sorry it was a bummer, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to go back and listen to all the information. Glad we were able to answer a couple of questions. So thank you, Chris, very much for, I know we've been trying to fix it all. Thank you to everyone who has persevered. Of course, as always, thank you to Craig. And until I see you again, everyone, very, very blessed rest of the day.